What the fuck's going on this team, Jerry?
Bury him! Bury him!
Jerry, TJ Watt.
He is the best defensive player on the planet.
Go! Yes! Yes! We're going to fire! Steelers fans! Bang! Run it down their throat!
No! That's not a penalty!
Game over! Game over! Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
He's aggressive.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey, Jerry. Jerry Don, we're fucking idiots. Like the fact that we even thought that was going to look any different this season than it looked from last season or the season before or any of the 9 fucking seasons since the Steelers have last won a playoff game just means that we are the dumbest Steelers fans, and we are fans, and that is what it's going to be, and that is what it will always be. But this team is no different. It hasn't looked any different. They got blown out, and Jerry, this year they don't even score. And so it's like, man, I don't know how much more we should have to endure. I ask you, and I've asked you this for the last 2 seasons, how much more do we have to take? And at this point, it's like, how much more do we have to take, or how much more does Art Rooney actually have to accept before he says, this has been a fucking enough. We just have to move a different direction. Appreciate Mike Tomlin for being maybe the greatest regular season head coach in football, but this shit, I'm done with it.
Yeah, that's about all he is a really good regular season coach.
Yep.
Yeah, shame on us for believing in this team. I don't think this is going to be a really long episode for the fans. Who knows where it goes? We obviously didn't plan this. I just figured we should just get this out the way, But man, coming off that high last week, you felt like, holy shit, okay, the fan base, we're all kind of back now. And, pregame, I asked you, how's the atmosphere at the stadium? Incredible atmosphere.
Electric, Jerry.
Stadium was rocking. You had a week to prepare for this team. You knew they were a good defense, and you couldn't figure out a way to beat them, man. You couldn't figure it out. You knew that the pass rush was going to be a problem. That was the worst that offense has looked all year, and they've looked bad at some points. That was really, really bad. They chose that playoff game to play their worst ball on the offensive side. Kevin, I don't know about you. I don't blame the defense a bunch. I think they did their job. They played well. I know the final score is going to look crazy, but the 2 defensive touchdowns for the Texans, I thought the defense came out. They let up a lot of yards rushing. Yes, I will say that, against a fucking Texans team who doesn't really run the ball well whatsoever.
Yep.
But, we can sit here for a half hour, 45 minutes talking about offense, defense, special teams. Every season, it looks the same, like you said, and that's because Mike Tomlin is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know about you, Kevin. A couple weeks ago, up until last week, I felt like, I could do another year of Rodgers. I'm kind of done with it. I think he's got to go. Tomlin's got the whole coaching staff, offense, defense, coordinators, Terrell Austin, and Arthur Smith. They should be gone as well. The Steelers have to figure out really what the fuck they're going to do, and figure it out pretty fast, because coaches are going to start getting picked up and whatnot. The thing is this, Kevin, could you see a world where some of these coaches that they would like, to pick up, and, they panic, they don't let go of Tomlin, and then all of a sudden they get stuck with like, well, what are we going to do? I guess we just got to keep him for one more year.
Yeah, see, that's the issue here. If you're going to move on from him, it needs to be quick and decisive. It has to be something that comes by maybe Wednesday of this week, Thursday at the latest. You got to make a fucking move. If you're going to move on from Mike Tomlin, now is the time. And then there's no delaying on this. Let's talk about the game, and then we'll get to the criticism of Mike Tomlin. Yep. I think there are things that are so easy to criticize when it comes to the Steelers, and that game was just a microcosm of all of the flaws that they've had this season.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith, overpaid, unproductive when it comes to the Steelers. He could not, this whole season, he could not get on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. And tonight, it looked just the same. He's running routes Rodgers wasn't happy with. He can't connect with him. It is what it is. Early in the game, Calvin Austin runs a couple wrong routes. He and Rodgers are not on the same page. It is what it is. But to me, Jerry, it is the highest paid man on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. It is DK Metcalf. And there was a point early in that first half, I want to say maybe end of the first, towards halfway through the second quarter, ball right sideline, Rodgers puts it on a fucking rope, and DK lets it hit off his hands. Not even tight coverage, not like the defender made a play on it. He just fucking can't catch the ball. The Steelers from that point forward, and this is no bullshit, go back and watch the game if you think I'm making this shit up. From that point forward, that Steelers offense was dead in the water. I mean, dead. And all year, Jerry, we watched DK Metcalf drop balls he shouldn't fucking be dropping. The last 2 games of the season, because he's a bonehead in Detroit, he cost the Steelers maybe that Browns game. They don't have a good offense in that game. And while you say this is the worst offense that it's looked like all year, it looked similar to the Browns game. I mean, 6 points is 6 points, whether it comes against the Browns or it comes against the Texans. Both two great defenses make the Steelers offense look like complete dog shit. And when there were points in this game tonight where the Steelers could have made plays, you thought maybe they score a touchdown, they can take command of it. The defense gave them 3 takeaways in the first half. We come up with 3 fucking points. It's just not good enough, Jerry. It's not good enough. And Arthur Smith is not good enough. And so I said this in my game day recap, but if the Titans want Arthur Smith, let him fucking go. He's not a good offensive coordinator.
No, not even that.
Most of the season, Jerry, Aaron Rodgers carried Arthur Smith in big moments. He carried him. Or the plays that were made were because Kenneth Gainwell made plays out of the backfield. Arthur Smith, had dump-offs coming from Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. There were very few times, few and far between all season, where I would be like, God damn, Arthur Smith calls a great game. It was more so either the players made big plays and extended drives or made men miss and the Steelers scored from it, or Aaron Rodgers put the team on his back and he called the offense late in games, which you and I didn't get to record a lot of episodes through that 3-game win streak, but there were times Rodgers is basically fucking throwing them off the field, didn't want changes, wanted to call the plays himself. He's basically saying, let me fucking do it. And I think what that tells you is the offensive coordinator was shit. And I think at the end of this now Arthur Smith experience, I'm done with him. I'm done with Arthur Smith. That offense was fucking shit. And to me, it cycles back to, and this is what it will always cycle back to, Jerry, who hired him, who wanted to bring him in, who continues to give him a fucking job. It's Mike Tomlin.
Arthur Smith, man. I think I wouldn't say horrible. This team won 10 games. I would say this. Do I want him back? Absolutely not.
No.
I think that was a C performance if I had to grade Arthur Smith on the year. Maybe even a D. I don't know.
C minus D plus. I think that's fair. C minus D plus. I think that's fair as fuck.
As for the other side of the football, let's go back all the way to training camp, right? I mean,
yep.
People were all talking about this Steelers defense. Other people in the media, we were talking about it. The players came out, and DK Metcalf came out and said, I mean, I'm not lying to you guys. This could be one of the best defenses that's ever been established in football, period, and that he's ever seen on a football field. There was games throughout this year. The Steelers defense won then some games. Yeah, sure. But the amount of hype, the amount of money that these guys are making, I would grade that defense, man, whoa. D. I give it a D.
C minus D plus.
C minus D plus for the year.
Yep.
Just very underwhelming. They let up a ton of yards all year long. Did they get pressure on the quarterback? Yeah, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. They were very, very bad against the run, especially without Derek Harmon. He came back. It was a little bit different. That playoff game was bad, though. But listen, I would love both guys to go. I would love Mike Tomlin to leave Pittsburgh, go get a different coaching job, or go into TV. But, Kevin, if they don't make a decision quick, this guy's coming back, buddy.
We're stuck with him. It's what I said last week.
This guy's coming back, man.
We were optimistic last week, Jerry, because the Steelers beat the Ravens. And it's unfortunate that we are.
By the way, Kevin, I don't even know if I would want DK back. I mean, he's probably going to be back, but I wouldn't even really want him back.
He'll be back, but that's low on my list of issues here. My list of issues start at the top of the food chain, and it is where I have started my issues for many years, Jerry. And it's because the team's not going to evolve until they truly change directions here. I mean, I don't know how many, like, okay. How many years, Jerry, can the Steelers lose in the wild card round and get blown the fuck out of the water? And it always come back to like, okay, well, they needed a quarterback. All right, well, you had a quarterback. You know, Tomlin brought Aaron Rodgers in. That was his guy, right? Okay. And I thought Aaron Rodgers was pretty fucking good for a lot of the season. Was he good tonight? Hard to say, because I just felt like the complete offense was shit. I felt like the game plan was shit. I felt like the receivers were shit. They were running wrong.
Linemen were terrible tonight. Linemen were terrible.
When it was very obvious passing downs, the Troy Fautanu was dog shit on the right tackle side. Like they just sucked. Okay, offensively they just sucked. So I'm not going to blame entirely Rodgers for the season. However, it comes down to the same shit it always comes down to, Jerry. When you have chances in playoff games to take command and they can't do it, and then they get blown out of the water. You know, DeMeco Ryans, the head coach of the Houston Texans, he's a defensive-minded head coach. Is he not, Jerry? Is he not? Yeah. He is. Absolutely, he fucking is. And his defense looked like what should have been the highest paid defense in football. Steelers defense maybe at points looked like that. However, I thought their run defense was very, very underwhelming. For, I would say, through the first three quarters, run defense was underwhelming. It let the Texans, there were specific drives, I think the Texans maybe passed the ball one or two times and instead just leaned on Woody Marks and, you know, Chubb comes in as a change of pace back, and they just ran it down our throats at home. When the
at home. Yeah, that's the big thing, at home.
That's huge, because we have sat here and said for years, we need to play a home playoff game. That's the difference, right? Like, that's the difference, Jerry. You want to win a playoff game, you got to play a home playoff game. We win the division. You have no Joe Burrow in the playoffs, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. You're going against a bunch of guys in the quarterback room and the offensive side of the ball in the AFC playoffs, and Josh Allen. And we can't even get out of a game that is at home in Pittsburgh with a team that Mike Tomlin hand-built, turned over, gets rid of Minka, brings in all these other fucking guys, Jalen Ramsey. You know, he brings in all these other fucking guys, and yet the result is identical. Jerry, when I left Baltimore last year, it's the same result as when I left Pittsburgh. And this is why I'm mad. I'm mad not only at Mike Tomlin and the Steelers and everything that fucking goes into it. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at everybody that lets us believe that this can be fucking different when it's not different. You know, the only thing that was different tonight, Jerry? I had to drive 15 minutes home instead of fucking 5 hours home from Baltimore. Like, I got home to record with you and immediately be upset about it, instead of having to drive 5 hours home and record with you and be upset about it. Nothing else is different. This was carbon copy of what it looked like the last three fucking seasons. Defense late in game can't do anything. Offense can't put out any fucking points. They can't get off the field, can't establish the run, can't score touchdowns in the red zone. And we circle back to the same fucking thing, and we've circled back to it for years, Jerry. And so it's like, man, as a Steelers fan, at what point does Art Rooney say, I, as the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, am done with the fucking failures that are headed by Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, no, he's got to man up here and just say enough's enough, man. And but you know, the thing is this, Kevin, is you know, it's fans like you, fans like me, as far as like buying a bunch of jerseys and what you're supporting the team every week with the tailgates, going to the games. Until this fan base makes it known, not just vocally, but hit them where it hurts, hit them in the pockets. Don't renew those season tickets. No, don't go to a game in the beginning of the year. No, don't buy that new player's jersey. Listen. This fan base is amazing, bro. It has some of the best fans in the world, and it's not going to happen. They're always going to buy jerseys, but something has to give. We got to make a statement to this organization that this isn't okay, man. This isn't. I mean, how much were playoff tickets tonight, man?
A lot. Even like upper levels, you're talking 220, 230 just to get in.
So a dad and mom taking their two kids, man, they just spent fucking almost $1,000 on tickets, bro.
Yep.
To watch that same exact result.
Same shit, Jerry. And so it's like, at what point do we fucking just finally say enough is enough? And you know I'm there, and you know I've been there.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, oh, you flip-flop again. Like last week, you're never getting rid of Mike Tomlin. And I sat here and I said to you guys, if they lose and they get blown out again, I will come right back to this fucking computer and I will say I'm ready to move on, because I am ready to fucking move on.
Yeah.
This is crazy, Jerry.
I just don't understand. What I don't get, Kevin, is like, okay, it took me like a little while. It took me up until like 2-3 years ago to really want this guy out of here. What's the defense for this guy? I still see it in the comments on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
How could you let him go? What? Are people fucking on drugs?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on drugs? Right in that comment, bro. Are you drunk? This is crazy, dude. I don't understand it. How this guy even has people fighting for him to keep his job in Pittsburgh. It's insane.
Jerry, there's a million things, a million statistics that you can point to, this, that, and the other. Like, in our Steel Here group chat, there are things that we're getting sent that's just like, yeah, I mean, that's a terrible stat. Like this one, Marvin Lewis, most consecutive playoff losses in NFL history. Marvin Lewis, 7 seasons. Mike Tomlin, 6 seasons. Marty Schottenheimer, Jim Mora, Steve Owen. All 6 seasons.
That's crazy.
Okay? And Mike Tomlin is considered one of the greatest head coaches to ever coach football. And he is right in the same category as Marvin fucking Lewis, Jerry, who they consider the greatest choker in NFL playoff history. Why is Mike Tomlin not getting that same fucking treatment? Why, Jerry? Why? Because he wins regular season games? Because we're hoodwinked into thinking this guy has a great regular season record? He's a great head coach? I've been saying this for years. If he's the best head coach in football and you only consider the regular season, you're right. Put him in the Hall of Fame. He's a fucking genius. But he won a playoff game in 4, Jerry. We say this all the time. 4 out of now 19.
And most of those weren't even his team. That wasn't even his team.
Agreed. And it was in the first 4 or 5 years of his career.
Yeah.
Since then, he's done nearly fucking nothing. He's done nothing. At what point do we just say it's done? It's fucking done. I don't give a fuck about a Rooney Rule. I don't give a fuck about regular season records. I don't give a fuck about who his coordinators are, who his quarterbacks are, who he lost on defense, injuries. I don't give a fuck about any of that because after going now 9 years, no playoff wins, there are no excuses worth listening to anymore. Other head coaches have won with less. Other head coaches have had no quarterbacks, bad coordinators, injuries across the board, and they've still figured out how to win at least one playoff game. This fucking guy can't figure out how to win one playoff game in coming up on a decade. And what other excuses do we need? They were healthy this year, Jerry. They were healthy. We played at home. You had Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. TJ's healthy. Your offense is healthy. Your defense is healthy. What fucking excuse can you hang your hat on now?
Yeah, no, there is no excuse, man. Listen, Riley Leonard just put 1 million points up on the Texans a week ago. I mean, what are we doing, man? What are we doing, bro? That's the thing that just drives me crazy is you watch these other teams and, some of the teams obviously we watch throughout the year. Not everybody wins their division, but you see these dog shit teams and they're dog shit, but they're still putting up fucking 30, 35. They're dog shit, but they're still they score touchdowns on their opening drives and they score more than 10 points in a first quarter. Yeah. I mean, that streak is still going. Yeah. I mean, it's just insanity, Kevin. If they were to bring this guy back, I mean, you're right. It's like, why even listen, we got to make a rule, man. We got to make a rule. Like, yes, we when we say it every year, but there should have been no reason we got back in on this team.
No, I know. That's why I'm like, listen to the viewers. And there were many who ride with us, Jerry. They'll ride with us through the fire, and I fucking love them. And there are a lot of people that are not afraid to listen to what we have to say, but also send me messages or you messages and be like, I just disagree. This is going to look the same. I think it's going to be the same result as it's always been.
Yeah.
And there's at least a few people this week that were like, I listened to the show. I love the fucking show, but I want you to know, I disagree. I don't see any way this game looks any different than it's looked in years past.
I got those messages too. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Feels different. You're a stupid motherfucker, Kevin Adams. You're a dumb motherfucker for even buying into it. I think that's part of being a fan. I think that's what you want to whisper to yourself so that you can have fun. I just dedicated 4 months of my life to this season. Now we make the postseason. It can be different. It can be different, Jerry. I'm telling you for all week, Jerry, it feels different. Feels fucking different. It's different fucking. It ain't different, Jerry. No. It ain't. It will never be different.
No.
And I told this to you last year, and I told this to my fans. Hold us accountable. When we say it's going to be different, let us fucking know. And a lot of people tried, and I at least poo-pooed them. No, this is different. Different raw.
Yeah, me too.
I'm done. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I will say that proudly. I should not be allowed to ever hype up the Steelers again until Mike Tomlin is gone, because until proven otherwise, we are absolutely right, Jerry. And the fans that try to cancel me and they hate me and they fucking shit on me for a month and a half on Twitter and all other platforms. Why? Because I'm fucking right. Because I'm fucking right. I know you motherfuckers hear me, and I've been right the whole time. This guy is a bum head coach. He will be a bum head coach, and nothing will fucking change as long as he is the head coach.
Yeah, no, not a thing, Kevin. Not a thing. This result that we get every year, and we can change, Kevin. We've tried to change everything. We've tried bringing in new OCs, new DCs. We tried different quarterbacks. Hey, we even went and drafted a quarterback in the first round. Hey, we're making trades, right? We're accumulating all these draft picks. Hey, we're making a little splash and going to get Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf. We changed so much, except for one thing. Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That's the thing that never changes.
And so what is the argument then, Jerry? Like, let me
they changed GMs too.
100%. New GM comes in Omar Khan. And yet when it comes to January football, we still get run out of the building. Except this year, there's even less excuse because you got run out of your own building now. You got run out of your own, and it was loud, Jerry. Don't let anybody ever tell you that early in that game the atmosphere was weak, because it was loud as a motherfucker. And that defense played great early in the first half. Like I said, 3 takeaways, and you only had 3 points to show out of 3 takeaways. And Jerry, 2 of those came inside the 40-yard line on the other side of the field. So you're already threatening when you get those takeaways.
And one of them was almost in the red zone.
And you got nothing. You got nothing. And so it's like, I mean, come on, man. What excuse do you have? And that's why I say, like, I asked this to my buddy earlier in the week. I'm like, if you had to make an excuse for Mike Tomlin, like if you had to, you're his attorney, okay? You're his attorney. There's a trial. Everyone's saying this guy fucking sucks, and you have to make a case for him. What would your argument be? And he said, the only thing I can come up with is that he has never had a losing record. That's it. That is literally it. Because other than that, there is nothing. You're grasping at straws other than that argument.
Nothing at all. Hey, there's been years this motherfucker has had the best offense in the league. There's been years that this motherfucker had pretty much the best defense in the league.
Yeah. No,
where's the excuses?
You're right. You're spot on. So it's like, at what point do we just say, look, man, okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Mike Tomlin. And I have no problem saying that. Thank you for 19 years of no losing seasons. Thank you for a Super Bowl. Thank you for 2 trips to the Super Bowl. Thank you for 4 playoff winning seasons out of 19 years. But aside from that, brother, do us a fucking favor as a friend to the city, a friend to the city that has paid you $150 million in 20 years. Go. Fucking leave us so that we can go a different direction. And if that means losing, Jerry, I have no problem recording this show with you saying, look, we're going to lose for a little bit here. And I'm fine with that, because you know what? Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards. And this is a prime example of it.
Yeah. Dude, look at the prime example of the Patriots, dude. I mean, look at them. I think the last time Mike Tomlin won a playoff game, the Patriots, they won a Super Bowl. They drafted the franchise quarterback who ended up being a bust, and then they were dog shit for like 3 years. And then they drafted their franchise quarterback. They weren't good. And then a year later, he ends up being the guy. And look at them now. I mean, they turned it around all before this motherfucker won a playoff game. Isn't that insane to you?
Painful to listen to. Like that, and it's spot on. Like, I haven't heard it explained in that way just yet, but like, it's painful because it's spot on. It's spot on. And I can remember years where they brought in Cam Newton to try and do the old quarterback. Like maybe we bring in a fucking, a Band-Aid quarterback like the Steelers have been trying to do the last few years. And finally they just ripped the Band-Aid off. And Robert Kraft says, no, we're going to go we're going to eat shit. We're going to eat shit. Because guess what? You have to eat shit to get to the fucking fruits of the draft, Jerry. You got to eat shit to get up there unless you're going to trade up there. And so it's like, man, and it comes back to what we said halfway through this season when the season was bleak. I don't want Mike Tomlin touching another rookie quarterback.
No. He
I
can't
don't.
listen. He can't develop anybody. There's nobody a quarterback he's ever developed, or his coaching tree is. There is nobody who's went on to be successful.
Nope.
Nobody poaches Steelers offense and defensive coordinators. Listen. He's just his time is up, man. His time is up. I hope he goes. I really do. I pray for it. Because if not, it's going to look the exact same next year.
Yep. And so I'm devastated. Don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely fucking devastated, but I just feel like I'm getting to a point in my life, and you said it earlier this year, and I wrote
it's easier, right? It gets easier, doesn't it? Listen, in years past, we wouldn't even be able to record right now because we'd be so mad.
Right. I just think I'm getting older. Like I'm 36.
It gets easier, Kevin.
And it's just like mentally, I'm just like, I know this is what it is now. Like, and I've just accepted. I hate saying that because I just feel like that's what bad franchises do. The fans are just like, yeah, we just accepted it. I hate how much I celebrated winning the division on a missed field goal last week out of Tyler Loop, when the Steelers probably should have lost that game, but they didn't. And look, I'm not here to do the what if game. I'm not, because like there's a million times that goes our way and a million times it doesn't go our way. But it's like, we're starting to celebrate just winning the division and not winning playoff. Like we've lowered the bar so low because we haven't won anything in so fucking long that I celebrated. Jerry, I went to Tequila Cowboy last week after we beat the Ravens. I go to Tequila Cowboy. I open a bar tab, unlimited bar tab for 2 fucking hours, cost me $2,700 just to celebrate. I put on the microphone. The Steelers win the fucking division. Let's celebrate. Open bar tab on me. Run up a $2,700 bar tab with people I don't even fucking know, because the Steelers are going to the playoffs because we're hosting a home playoff game because we won the division. That's how sad shit has gotten. I treated it like we're going to the Super Bowl, and all we did was go 10-7 and get bounced in the wild card round again.
That's what Mike Tomlin has forced us to do as fans, is celebrate just winning the division. That's it.
Yeah, Jerry.
That's what he's forced us to do.
I fucking hate it because it's like, it comes down to this for me. I know you and I will sit in these same fucking chairs again in July when training camp opens up, or when the draft is. We'll record a couple episodes then, or we'll record some episodes, after the season ends and coaches get fired, and we'll somehow try to find once the pain subsides and we can heal and we lie to ourselves again. It'll always be me and you like, I don't know, man, maybe, I don't know. I don't fucking know. And it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. But that's what fans do, Jerry. And I think that we both know that. And unfortunately, I think if we're both realistic about it, no shot were they winning it again this year. But I wanted to tell myself, because the AFC was so weak, because the NFC was so fucking weak. You almost saw who I think is the Super Bowl favorite, Los Angeles Rams, lose to the dog shit fucking Carolina Panthers. That is how weak the whole NFL is this year. I thought maybe if the Steelers can win a game, maybe there's a fucking chance. I watched the dog shit Arizona Cardinals team almost beat the Steelers in a Super Bowl. Barely getting there, and then almost beat us coming down to one of the last plays of the game. And that's the type of shit I would tell myself over and over. But that's just lying, Jerry. We're lying to ourselves. And we've been lying to ourselves for years, and there's no more lying anymore.
No, man. I just pray that, within this next week or two, we hear some good news that he's been relieved of his duties, or he just
goes his own way, or maybe he goes his own way, brother. Yeah. Maybe he just says, I just want to go to the booth. I'm done. I need to change.
Yeah, but isn't he like, that's another thing real quick before we end this. Isn't he tired of this?
He has to be. And here's the thing, Jerry.
He's got to be tired of this.
Next year, you think it's going to be nicer next year? It won't be fucking nicer, especially if Rodgers goes and they go back to the fucking quarterback. Well, who you bringing in? Who's your quarterback going to be? Is it going to be Mason Rudolph? That's the only guy you have if Rodgers actually does hang it up. You going to go draft one? How's the draft going to be in Pittsburgh whenever everyone's so fucking done with your bum ass bullshit? Yeah. I mean, I don't see any avenue. I don't even see free agents that you could bring in that you could maybe hang your hat on.
No, nobody.
There's nothing.
Start fresh. The draft is in Pittsburgh. Start fresh, man. Yeah. All new coordinators, head coaches is different. Your head coach, you bring him in, perfect. Hey, buddy, here it is. Here's the draft. Go do what you want, man.
And you're safe. You're the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You damn near have to murder the owner's fucking dog to get fired. Like, we'll give you 10 years even if you ain't good, pal.
Yeah.
We just gave this last fucking guy 9 years, no playoff wins. The standard ain't that high in Pittsburgh, brother. If you want to come coach here, brother, you're safe. We'll give you a decade. Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, man, what a perfect time to do it. This head coaching job opens up. It is the most sought after job in football.
Maybe in sports. Maybe
it might be.
Sports. Because I can't think of another coach in North American sports that gets away with as little productivity and as little results and still keeps their job as Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, does, Jerry.
Yeah, well, just got to pray for change.
One thing. The fans, Jerry, they came back in a big way for us. They came back in a big way. You know, we didn't record an episode for 5 weeks, and that's my fault. Hand up. I said that. Had the terrible tailgate today. Probably no less than 100, 150 people, Jerry, were like,
nice.
Love the episode. Glad you guys are fucking back. We will ride with you to the ends of the fucking earth, and I love them. I love these fucking fans, Jerry. We had a great year. Our best year ever as far as doing Steel here. The numbers were through the roof, Jerry.
Yeah, great year. I was going to say that too. Shout out to the fans, man. Really picked it up this year with the views and all the people who jumped on board throughout the season to, listen to our show. We appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason we do this show. We love the support, and we'll take a little bit of break here, and if Mike Tomlin, something big happens, we'll hop on and we'll record and we'll assess on what we think. And listen, draft is in Pittsburgh, so at least that's one bright spot to look forward to.
Yeah, we will definitely, if nothing else, if you don't hear from Jerry and I again, we will definitely do a draft preview episode. There's no doubt about it. It's in Pittsburgh. We will do a draft preview episode. Jerry and I are not big draft guys. Like, I'm not a big scout guy. I don't even pretend to talk shit about guys that are in college. I watch a lot of college football, but I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, watch tape, great fucking player. I'm not one of those going to lie to you. However, because it's in Pittsburgh and this is a big draft for the Steelers, I think we have 12 picks, 13 picks, something like that. It is going to be a big draft for the franchise. If there's big news prior to that, if they move on from Tomlin or if they move on from an OC, anything that is related to that, we will record at least one episode between now and the draft. Otherwise, appreciate the fuck out of you guys. It has been an unreal season. Thank you for riding with me, especially through all the fucking fire and flames that they bring to me, to my front door. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support, all the comments, every DM that we get. I read them all. We appreciate the fuck out of you. It's been a great season. We're going to continue to take this show to the fucking moon, and it's because of your support. Tell a friend about it. Tell a friend if you like the show. Tell a friend if you fucking hate the show, because there are people that hate watch our show, Jerry, and I've come to realize that too, and I love them all the same. And so it has been a great season, Jerry. I love you. I love making the show. Anything you want to let the fans hear?
No, I love you, buddy. Another great year recording with you, and we'll be back with hopefully good news.
Hopefully it is Mike Tomlin gone. And I will tell you guys this is one thing I do want to put on record. If the Steelers move on from Mike Tomlin, I'm going to rent a bar out in the North Shore. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm thinking maybe Mike's Beer Bar. I will rent a bar out and we will party an entire night on my dime. I will have the tab on my dime. And also, I do want to let the fans know, I told you guys about Ondas, ONDS, the stock. It has gone to the fucking moon. It continues to go to the fucking moon. I make nearly $1 million a day most days. Thank you, Ondas. Jerry Don, I wish you rode with me. There are a lot of fans that have, and I will pay for one celebratory night if the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin on my dime. I love you guys. We'll see you here in the fucking spring. Breaking news. Jerry and Don and I had to record an episode when the Pittsburgh Steelers finally move on from Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He decides to step down. He does what Art Rooney wouldn't do. He walks away at his own volition. He leaves. The Steelers still own and retain the rights to his contract. So should he decide to come back at any point in the next 2 years, Mike Tomlin still belongs to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They would have to trade him or renegotiate his contract in order to let him out. It's a day, Jerry, that the Steel Here podcast and me especially, and I am proud to say this, I have been waiting many, many fucking years to see. And now it comes down to, where the hell do we go from here, Jerry Don? Because it's a new day, baby.
Dude, I was I felt like, we talked and after the game, and we felt like it could be coming.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it happened, I still didn't believe it. I'm like, no, this is I got here. This isn't a real article. Then everybody's spreading it. Hey, man, that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. Probably should have happened some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, dude, the thing is now I'm happy we can start over now. I'm happy we can start fresh. And Kevin, I want a full rebuild. I don't want no halfway.
Yes.
New head coach Arthur Smith is going to stay still, or vice versa. Terrell Austin stays. You know what I mean? I want a full, clean, slate here. I don't know about you. I don't want to retain nobody.
No, I think the best path forward, and first and foremost, all right. So my rapid reaction was obviously, get the fuck out. Like it was a lot of people are like, oh, it's classless. It's classless.
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, me neither. I don't give. You say anything you fucking want about me, classless. I have no care for Steelers, the legacy of the Steelers. And that's not how Steelers fans react. Fine. But also as Steelers fans, my goal has never, ever been to win regular season games. That's never been the goal for me as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I don't think that's what the front office wanted, what the ownership wanted, whatever. We've somehow fallen into that pit of that's what we accept as that's who the Steelers are. A great regular season team, get to the playoffs, lose. That's never been the goal. And unfortunately, that has become Mike Tomlin's, that's where he hangs his hat. Great regular season guy, can't win in the playoffs. First 9 years of his career, I'll give him his flowers. Mike Tomlin was elite. I would say a top 3 head coach in football. No doubt about it. Went to 2 Super Bowls, wins 1. A lot of people are going to argue he won them with Cowher's players, this, that, and the other. That's a fair argument. It's a fair argument whether people want to hear that or not, because he had a team already in place when he came in that was built to succeed, that he didn't fucking build. And that's just the truth of it. First 9 years, great head coach. Last 10 years of Mike Tomlin's career as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it was shit, guys.
Oh, yeah.
It was shit.
Oh, yeah.
So when they're like, oh, that's classless to celebrate, fuck you. We've just watched that same movie for a decade. I'm not celebrating because I want the guy to fucking be broke or out on the street or can't pay his bills, which is never going to happen. He's, I saw today.
Never.
Dulac said Jerry's making $25 million a season. Jerry Dulac said, so he's leaving $50 million on the table. Yes.
I didn't see that.
Jerry Dulac said Mike Tomlin was making 25 M's a season. He left $50 million on the table by not coaching out his next 2 years of his contract.
My God.
So to me, I'm celebrating just a new day as far as being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Jerry. This is a new direction. It's bringing in someone that wants to try different shit. We're going to see different schemes, a different offense, a different defense, a different voice in the room. I'm just celebrating the fact that it's not going to be Mike Tomlin, that we have to walk down this same road that we've walked down for so many years with. I'm not celebrating the worst of him. I'm celebrating the future of what can possibly be.
Oh, for sure.
And it's a bright day, Jerry. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It is a bright day as Steelers fans. This was necessary. We needed it. We deserved it. It was so time. It was so due. And honestly, the one thing I will say, hats off to Mike Tomlin for walking away on his own. However, I'm not sure that's exactly how it went down. They lose last night,
I don't buy it.
At midnight, they lose last night. And then today at 2 p.m., Mike Tomlin just randomly springs it on the team. He walks away. And you think no one knew that? Come on, man.
The way people were talking, the way some media personalities on the internet, Twitter, Instagram were talking about it, this has been brewing. For this past year. And listen, it's just, the thing is this, is sure, the first decade, Mike Tomlin, we could say, yes, great coach and whatnot. The next decade, which is a long fucking time, it just went stale. It just went stale. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like, the NFL just like was starting to head in a different way and he kind of stayed stuck, or the message got stale with the players and whatnot. No clue. Either way, though, very excited for the future. I am. Listen, we've been wanting this for a long time.
Yes.
And people are going to people have already DM me, you're an idiot, you're stupid. And I just hit them with, buddy, listen, besides the winning season, tell me what he does good.
Sure.
Tell me what he does good. What does he do good? He's a motivator. Motivator don't win you fucking playoff games and Super Bowls, buddy.
Jerry,
You can be the best motivator in the world.
I was telling someone at the tailgate yesterday, and they're like, I like Tomlin. And I'm like, it's not that I don't like Tomlin. He is a great motivator of men. But if you have the greatest soldiers in the world, okay, you have the most well-trained, best soldiers in the world, and you're sending them to war, but your battle plan is shit, they'll lose the fucking fight.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it goes. And we've lost a fight in a lot of years with teams that I thought were better, more talented teams, but we lost to inferior talented teams because we got out-schemed and outplayed.
Yeah.
And simply because I just don't know that that's what Mike Tomlin is good at. And it's not what he's been good at, obviously, in the last decade.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to say that. It's very hard for people to accept for someone that has been maybe someone that's 25, 27, 28 years old. That's all you really know. Mike Tomlin is honestly all you've ever known as a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
I've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers before Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
It's a different football team, okay? We somehow slowly eroded into this football team that accepts what we have become. Get to the playoffs 10-7, 9-8, it just barely squeak in by the skin of our teeth. They're always competitive. They're always in it to the final week of the season. And I'm not taking that away from him because it's very hard to do that. It is, Sherry. It's very hard in this league to do what he has done, to win as many games as he has. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers are above that. We are a franchise more proud than that. I hold a much higher standard than that. And the January failures have just become way too loud and over-glaring to the rest of his regular season success for me to just brush it off and say, no, we can do it again next year. And if you heard what Josina Anderson said, Jerry, she said that Mike Tomlin did not like that his constituents around the city were calling for his head and asking for his firing, and he felt like the disrespect was getting too loud.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. Hand up, I'm proud if I am one of those constituents. I take out that beer. I don't fucking care. And that's why when people are fucking chirping me on Instagram, I was back on Twitter today for about hour and a half. I activated it. I let them hear it. I let them hear it for an hour and a half. And then I went back to ghost again. And who knows? Maybe I will come back. Maybe I won't. But I want it to be known. I am proud if I am one of those people that Mike Tomlin considers one of those constituents that wanted him out. Because if that's what the fuck it takes, Jerry, then I won. Then I finally won the long game. The end game was to get Mike Tomlin and a new head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm happy to say that. I'm proud to fucking say that. And if you don't like that, too fucking bad.
Yeah, too bad. Too bad. Listen, Kev, I give you credit, man. You were on the train for a long, long time. You fought this fight for a long, long time. Now you got it. Now, one thing I want to ask you is this.
Yes.
You seen how the fans responded today?
Sure.
How do you think the players respond?
So I'm sure there are a lot of players that are not going to like that Mike Tomlin is leaving because he's their buddy, Jerry. He's their friend. And I think you and I have long had this conversation that Mike Tomlin is more of a player's coach because he's their friend. He's their buddy. He doesn't really hold them accountable in the media. What are you lost? What are you looking for?
No, I'm looking for my, hold on a second.
What are you wearing, Jerry? You wearing Zubas? You wearing Zubas? Oh, Jerry.
I was looking for my Lucy.
Zen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, are the players going to be upset? Yeah, they're sure. I'm sure there are going to be some players that are upset that Mike Tomlin is leaving. However, those same players haven't won shit either. So their opinion to me is so small, in the grand scheme of this. You haven't won shit either. And that's why we say, I'm not doing the show for the fucking players or the coaches. We're doing the show for the fans that think just like you and I do. Yeah. I don't fucking care what the players think. It was time. It was if they loved him and they would go to war for him as much as everyone says that they would, then win in January. Win yesterday. Don't get embarrassed. Don't get blown off the ball. Don't give up fucking deep third and long plays. Win the fucking football games in January and you'll shut everybody up. And you didn't. Yeah. So guess what? In the NFL, the not for long league, you failed your coach too. So, yeah, you can be upset, but that's how this game gets played, baby. That's how this game gets played. You didn't do enough to keep him there. That's how it goes. So I'm sure they're upset, yes. However, you come in, they find the new head coach that they can win with. I'm sure they'll accept that all the same. Because at the
Oh, yeah.
end of the day, Jerry, winning, not making friends, not how's your family, none of that shit fucking matters. It matters how you perform and do you win games when it matters, and they haven't been doing it. So I personally don't care how they feel. I hope they like the new coach that comes in, and if it ends up being, there are some guys that we've heard whispers of, if it ends up being a guy like Brian Flores, who we have heard the players don't much love, I don't care. Brian Flores gets the most out of his team. He took the Vikings to the second and third best defenses in the last 2 years. I don't need you to be friends with the players. I need you to get the most out of them. That to me is what a great head coach actually does.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Just like that, I was talking to one of my buddies who's a Chargers fan today, and the defensive coordinator, I forget his name on the Chargers, starts with an M. I forget. Anyway, I was asking him about him, and he was like, listen, dude, our Chargers defense, we have one or two decent, names on our defense. Mentor. Yeah. He was saying, listen, we got Derwin James, a few names on the defense, nothing crazy. He got the most out of each and every player on that Chargers defense, and they were great this year. They were a great defense this year.
Beat our ass.
Listen, it's going to be interesting to see what path they take. Are they going to go for Brian Flores? Are they going to go with a guy like Chris Shula, who's a little bit younger? Are they going to say, hey, fuck it, we'll wait to see what happens with the Seahawks and go get an offensive-minded coach in Kubiak? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, man. I if I was to guess what they're going to do, I think the safe hire is Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Steelers are a safe organization. That seems like a safe hire to me. I could see that. A little splash would be what I would love is a guy like Signetti or Gruden. And I know Signetti is older, How old is he? He's in his 60s, right? Late 60s?
I want to say he's 64. I'm pretty sure Kurt Signetti is 64.
Yeah, it's a bit old.
64, he is.
Woof, man. What's Gruden then? What the hell is Gruden?
He's probably early 60s, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's probably 61, 62.
John Gruden is 62.
Yeah, wow. Oof, shit, damn. Yeah, so maybe they won't. Maybe they'll go for a younger guy. Who knows? But I feel like the safe hire is Brian Flores. I think that's what they're going to end up doing.
And here's the thing. I'm fine with Brian Flores if you bring in the right offensive coordinator.
You need to.
That's what's failed the Steelers for so long, and that's the one thing that you can easily criticize Mike Tomlin for, the lack of coaching tree, because he just never brought in coordinators that flourished or did anything other than really what the Steelers have done for the last 20 years. Yeah. And that's whatever Mike Tomlin, wanted his offense to be. And so people can argue that, but it's hard to argue the facts. And the facts are the offense has always devolved into exactly the way it looked yesterday. Yeah. Just unimaginative, very safe, small ball football. And we've made that argument and case for 4 seasons of this show, and I've been doing it for 7 seasons in total since Mike Tomlin has failed us, in my opinion. I would love to see Brian Flores come in. I'm not even opposed to a guy like Mike McDaniel. Is he goofy as fuck to be the offensive coordinator? Yes, but he does have great schemes. He has great offensive plans. It just comes down to, I don't know that a guy like that is a head coach. There are tons of guys, Jerry, that are very talented, but are just not great head coaches.
My thing is this, Kevin, and hear me out on this. It's going to be very hard to sell that OC job in Pittsburgh. There's no quarterback in place.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
There's no quarterback in place. That's the problem is like, if there's one downfall to all this, bringing in a new head coach is like, as far as the coordinator go, a DC is going to love this job. You know what I mean? A DC that wants to just coach defense will love this job. But an OC with no quarterback, it's not really appealing.
Yeah, but it is if you flip the coin this way. You're going to have a new coach. I would say in the next 3 days, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a new head coach.
You think that quick, huh?
Friday, Saturday, Monday at the very latest. Within 6 days from today. It's Tuesday evening.
I'll tell you what. See, I don't even know because we never really went through this before.
We haven't been through this.
This is all new to me.
Right, but I would be shocked if it is longer than a week. I think this is something that will turn around quickly, and I think that that's why you heard rumbles of guys like Chris Shula coming out 3 weeks ago, and I told this to you. You and I didn't get to record an episode, but I did say to you in a private conversation that it was weird that Aaron Rodgers said if another team, we'll see what my options are after this season if I want to continue to play. Aaron Rodgers said that, Jerry. And immediately I said to you, I'm like, those comments are fucking weird. Those comments do not make sense because he knows the Steelers want to bring him back. He loves Mike Tomlin. Why would he not come back to the Steelers? Why is he trying to go to another franchise again? Unless he knows this is it for Mike Tomlin. Yeah. You heard Cam Hayward was crying in the locker room after the loss. You heard TJ's comments basically saying we haven't changed anything and we're still getting the same results. There were a lot of things. Now it all starts to make sense. Maybe these guys knew this. That's why I'm coming back to what I opened the show with, or at least this segment of the show, is that I think they knew. I don't think this was something Mike Tomlin coached last night and then woke up this morning and at 2 p.m. said, hey, I'm stepping down.
No.
I think he told at least some of the high-profile players. I'm sure the Rooneys or Jerry, they did what they did to Chuck Noll. They told Chuck Noll, look, we need to move a different direction. This is obviously failing us, but in order to save face, in order to, keep you, with all due respect, we're going to let you say you're stepping down instead of us relieving you of your duties. Yeah. I think that's a high chance of what had happened. And I think Tomlin had told some of the guys prior to, at least maybe halfway point of this season, or at some point he let them know, the Cam Haywards, the TJs, the Aaron Rodgers, this is it for me. If we don't win a playoff game, this is it for me. Yeah. And I think there's a very high chance. We might not know for years that is the case. And we might never know. But if I were a betting man and a gun to my head, I would say that's more than likely how it played out. Now, having said that, you say it's not a very appealing job to an offensive coordinator. However, the draft is in Pittsburgh this year. You're going to have 10, 12, 13 draft picks. You can go up and get a quarterback should you want to. Or you go through one down year, Jerry, and this is the number one comment I got on Instagram all day today.
Same here.
You'll see how ugly it gets. How bad could it be? The grass isn't always fucking greener. You'll be eating your words a year from now. Do you dumb fuckers not understand what happens when you have a 6-11 season, a 5-12 season? You get a great draft pick. Do you know what comes with great draft picks? A team that really needs great draft picks? Quarterbacks. You can get your fucking guy. So it's not that unappealing if you tell an offensive coordinator, like, look, we're going to bring in a veteran quarterback. You'll have him this year. And then we're going to look to get our guy next year. We're going to give you the 3-year contract. You're going to have those 3 years. And it's also the Steelers don't fire guys, Jerry. They don't fire coaches.
No, it's the safest job in sports.
Safe job. Exactly.
The thing is, I got that all day too. And my thing was to people on IG, I was like, dude, you don't think, I'm a fan. Of course I'm going to be mad at a 5-11 season. Of course I'll be mad at a 6-win, 7-win season. I will be mad. But at the same time, I'll realize, Jerry, you wanted this for a long time. It's here. Now you got to deal with it until this rebuild is done. Yep. Now you just got to suck it up and just deal with it. Yep. This is what we wanted. Now you got to deal with it. And who's to say this? Look at the Bears, how they turned around. So look at the Patriots. Jaguars. Listen, if I was to guess, do I think they're going to struggle? Yeah, I think so. Yep. But there's also the chance they turn it around like that.
Right. Who's to say that the next guy doesn't come in and fix the shortcomings that we have been missing on? This team obviously is still very fucking talented. It's not like we're going into a franchise like the Cleveland Browns that have had not any success in 20 years, one winning season, all the misery. We're still the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. We're still the Pittsburgh fucking Steelers. Let's not act like the Steelers had no success prior to Mike Tomlin. They'll never win after Mike Tomlin leaves.
That's what people on Instagram are making it seem like, in Twitter, there's going to be zero success.
Jerry, they were successful well before Mike Tomlin. They will be successful well after Mike Tomlin's gone. And that is the reality of it. Could there be some dark years, some down years? Absolutely. I'm willing to accept those. Do you know why, Jerry? Because what's the difference between a 10-7 season when you get your dicks blown off in the wild card round and a 5-12 season when you've had nothing to play for half of the season? You still lost. The end goal was still the same, and you came up short. It's a championship or bust. And unfortunately, we haven't fucking done anything close to a championship in so long that I can eat a couple down years, Jerry. I can eat a couple down years.
Listen, we've been had down years. These playoff losses are down years.
Exactly. And that is the mindset every fan needs to carry. That when you're losing in the playoffs, that's still considered a down fucking year. When you're not getting closer, and we haven't gotten closer. We haven't gotten closer. We haven't gotten further. We've stayed
No.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's still a down year. That is still a down
that's the
fucking
thing that
season
people
to me.
don't realize is this last decade have all been down years.
Right, exactly.
The only thing that's saving the media from saying it's not a down year is the winning record. That's it.
Right. If you take that out of the equation and you look at the rest of it, he's one of the biggest failures when it comes to the playoffs. You know, look at how they talk about the Bengals head coach has escaped me right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis, Jerry. Look how they talked about Marvin Lewis. He's one of the biggest bums ever. You know, they consider that guy a fucking bum. Mike Tomlin and he have nearly the same playoff records.
Yeah.
You know, like and can't win in the playoffs. Seven seasons, seven straight losses in the playoffs. These are the same guys. However, one guy is heralded as the greatest ever, and the other guy's a fucking bum. It's crazy. The way the media spins it, and they've always spun it for Mike Tomlin. It comes down to that regular season record, which again, I'm not discrediting. However, that's not the goal. The goal is not winning in the regular season. It's to win last night, and you didn't fucking win. And so I'm willing to have a couple of down years, Jerry. You rebuild this fucking thing. However, it comes down to what I said prior to this season, and I've been saying for years. This is why you don't give the long-term contracts to your TJ Watts. It's why you don't throw big money at guys like that later in their careers, because this rebuild could take 2 years. It could take 3 years. It took the Patriots a few years. The Patriots drafted a guy they thought was their quarterback in Mac Jones.
Yeah.
They had their head coach. Both of those failed. They go out and get another. They had to suck. They go out and get another quarterback, another head coach, and now they're right back to the fucking top of the AFC.
Exactly.
It doesn't always go perfectly. In a dream world, yes, it will go perfectly. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they figure it out. They bring a new guy in. They draft a quarterback. They go right back. It doesn't always work that way. Yeah. I'm realist. Jerry, I'm a fucking realist. The reason I had enough of Mike Tomlin is because it wasn't getting any closer. No. It was stale. And that's why I said, look, yeah, it could get dark. I'm fine with it getting dark for a little bit, because right now, this is dark to me. This is still dark to me. There are a lot of people that are fine, Jerry. They're people I like to consider they don't reach high enough for the stars, even in their own personal lives. They're fine with that nice, cushy, comfortable lifestyle that they have. Mike Tomlin is nice, cushy, and comfortable. You know what you're getting. You know what the worst is. You know pretty much where the ceiling is. There's nothing crazy about it. I want to reach for the fucking stars, Jerry Don. And I don't think you were getting back there with Mike Tomlin.
No, you weren't. 100% you were not. My thing is this. I want to ask you this, Kev. And then I think we should get into really quick, our top three, like who we would want, or maybe like a top 5, top 3, whatever, and any players you would cut or trade. First, I want to ask this. We're going to bring in a new head coach, most likely a new offensive coordinator, I think a new defensive coordinator, or the head coach is going to call the defensive plays, not sure. But how short of a leash or long of a leash do you think he's going to have in Pittsburgh?
New coach coming in? Long, because just the history of the franchise. They're going to give somebody a chance, especially now knowing where we are as a franchise, on the cusp of needing a rebuild. You opened with that. I think that they genuinely need to commit to this thing.
Even if he comes in and it's a total disaster?
Yeah, I think they're going to give him time. Bill Cowher had terrible seasons, Sherry. And a lot of people don't remember this, and a lot of the younger fans have no idea. But he had some terrible seasons where the fan base was calling for his head for a while. They were calling him Marty Schottenheimer Jr. because he just couldn't get over the fucking hump. I remember those days. It was dark, early 90s or late 90s. He couldn't fucking figure it out. Early 2000s, he couldn't figure it out. He gets them back, though. He wins a Super Bowl. He gets a quarterback in Big Ben. They get over the hump. I think that this is why it would be one of the most sought after jobs, is because of the stability.
Because you probably have minimum 10 years.
I'm saying they're giving him 5 to 7 to really figure it out. And that's a long time in the NFL.
Yeah.
Jerry, that's most players. That's two careers for most players in the NFL. The average career is less than 4 years. That's 2 careers for most NFL players. So that's two roster overturns for the most part. I think that's what they would give the leash to being. And we also need to remember they still didn't fire Mike Tomlin, and that we know of. If he did step down to his own will, they still didn't let him go. So it's, that's something you have to consider. You bring in a new guy. It's not like they've never fired a coach in between Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. They've never fired one that we're aware of. They've asked them to step down. Chuck Noll, like I said, maybe that's what they do with Mike Tomlin. I think he would have a long leash. I really do think that he would have a long leash. I would say 5 to 7 years at a very minimum, they would give him.
So who would be your top three you'd want the job right now?
Number one, it's John Gruden. My number one coach is John Gruden. And it's because of the things that we know. You've had conversations with Gruden. He loves Will Howard. I want to see John Gruden, Jerry. I just think John Gruden is a proven winner. He has won in the past. He's won Super Bowls. He's had great offenses. He understands the offensive side of the game. He's also not arrogant enough that he can't have other great coaches around him.
Yeah.
John Gruden for me is number one.
I texted him today.
What'd he say?
I said, John, exclamation mark, I said, whatever, a bunch of exclamation mark. I said, the Steelers, question mark. He said, crazy league, man. That's 9 now. I guess 9 new head coaching jobs.
Yes.
And then I said, don't you love that guy, Will Howard, question mark? He said, love him.
He'd be my number 1A. Who's your 1A, Jerry?
Listen, I'm with you on Gruden. I really am. I just think it might not be realistic.
Agreed.
I'd love it. He would be my one. I really would. But I just feel like it's not realistic. I just don't think the Steelers would move like that. You know,
I could not agree.
After everything that happened in the NFL and the Rooney's relationship with Goodell, I don't see it. I'd love it. He'd be my one.
Clint Kubiak would be my 2.
Okay, I like that.
Because I want offensive-minded head coach. I want an offensive-minded head coach, and it's what you and I have said for a few weeks now. If you had to move on, who would it be? I need an offensive-minded head coach because I want to do kind of what the Niners have done. I want to have the head coach be the guy who designs the schemes. You never have to worry about your head coach getting promoted to go to another place if he is your offensive coordinator. You see what I'm saying? These great franchises have great like Ben Johnson. The Lions lose Ben Johnson. He then goes to the Bears, and now the Bears are going to be a wagon. That's the reality of it. I have said for a month and a half now, I think the Bears are a year away from being great, and I might have been wrong. They might be great right fucking now.
I know.
And your head coach is your offensive scheme. He's the brain that powers that offensive wagon in a league that is offensive-minded. That is why I would like a Clint Kubiak to be your head coach, because you don't ever have to worry someone's going to poach him as your OC. You can have someone else come in and be kind of your coordinator, your pass game coordinator, your run game coordinator, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan is a great fucking head coach for the Niners. They just went into Philly, Jerry, and they win that game, and it looks like they were depleted with injuries, and they still win the fucking football.
Did you see that Shanahan Tomlin stat?
Yeah, isn't that fucking insane? Tell the people what it is.
So it's 9 years, right? Was it 9?
Yes, 9 years.
9 years. He's got 9. How many wins? 9?
Nine playoff wins in 9 years.
Could you imagine that? 9 playoff wins in 9 years, bro.
Tomlin has 0.
Zero.
In 9 years.
0. Isn't that insane?
That's why I want an offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ever have to worry you build something great and then you lose him. The other reason I want an offensive-minded head coach is because we don't have a quarterback yet. Yeah. I don't want to have a defensive-minded head coach where you bring a quarterback in.
That's what scares me about Flores, Kev, is listen, I think Flores is a great coach. I really do. I think that defense would be fucking buzzing with the people they have there right now. The thing is what's the offense going to look like, you know? That's why I'm with you on Kubiak, man.
And that's why for me, Kubiak is like, well, I think they're going to go a defensive-minded head coach because that's just how the Steelers are. I'm pretty confident in saying they're going to go a defensive-minded head coach. However, it worries me to go that route for what I just said, the point I just made. You draft a quarterback, then you have an offensive coordinator you bring in that starts to develop him, and then that coordinator, if he's good, if he's great, he gets poached, he goes on to be a head coach, and then you start the cycle back over with a young quarterback. It's not like the Big Bens of the world, Jerry, don't come along very often. Where you bring a guy in, he had Ken Wisenhunt, he had Bruce Arians, you had that type of setup as far as his coordinators went, and then he was fine. He didn't need a ton of developing. Okay, he was just one of those guys, first ballot Hall of Famer. Those don't fucking grow on trees. You're not getting one of those every day. So if you bring a guy in and you have a quarterback that you've had for 2 or 3 years, and then that coordinator moves on, then you're starting over. So in year 4, your quarterback has a new OC, and then year 6, he has a new OC. You're never really getting that the full potential of what that player can be when he's fully comfortable. You'll never really see that, in my opinion. No. That's why I believe without having an elite quarterback in place, I wish the Steelers would consider moving to an offensive-minded head coach over a defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, that's why Kubiak would be my 2, man. And Either or, Flores or Shula would be my 3. Either or.
Agreed. I'm pretty much on the same page with you as far as that's concerned. Now, Kurt Signetti, I would bring Kurt Signetti in a heartbeat. He's old, sure, but he's also from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep this in mind. If you're bringing a guy in, let's also say this. We don't need the Steelers' next head coach to be there 20 fucking years.
No.
We don't need that. I don't, that shouldn't have to be the prerequisite that you have to hire a guy that's 37 or 35 because you want him to be there 20 years. I don't need that. If Kurt Signetti is 64 and he's there fucking 6 or 7 seasons and you make runs in 6 or 7 seasons, get to a Super Bowl, well, that's the fucking goal, right? That's the goal. I don't need him to be there fucking 20 years to get the most out of him.
Yeah, and what I want to say too is this: if you're him and you win, let's say you win the Natty, what else you got to prove in college? You did it all. You came from the bottom.
Every level, right? At every level.
At every level, you came from the bottom. You worked your way up.
Yes.
You fucking took an Indiana team to the fucking Natty. You won the Natty.
Undefeated.
Why not? Why not go out like that?
And that would be why Kurt Signetti would be like my dark horse. He'd be the fucking guy for sure.
Yeah.
That would be because he's won. Google me, he says. Fucking the guy's a winner, Jerry, and he's from Pittsburgh. He is from Pittsburgh. I think that's
his dad coached at Pitt, no?
Yes, he coached at Pitt. At Pitt. So like there are things about that I fucking love. I would love Kurt Signetti because of like he gets it. He knows Pittsburgh, and he's won, and he's proven he can win. And he's also, Jerry, he's a culture builder. What do the Steelers love? They love their culture builders. He's a motivator of men, Jerry.
Yes.
This is the first NCAA. I think that Indiana's going to win the national championship personally. So I'm going to say this is the first national champion that hasn't had more than 50% of their roster be 4 or 5-star recruits, a bunch of blue chip guys. So he's a motivator of men. He's a great schemer. They're great tackle. They do everything fundamentally sound. And that starts with coaching. Yeah.
I don't watch college ball, but from everybody I've talked to that watches college football, you go up and down that Indiana roster, and it's like, how are they under
3-stars? Bunch of 3-stars, Sherry.
And it's him, man. It's him.
He is the leader, and so that's why, yes, you want to bring someone in that you care about the culture, that has proven they can win at every stop of their career. It's Kurt Signetti. That'd be another guy. I know that's not like. People are like, oh, it'd be Marcus Freeman. I'm like, but what has Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame actually won?
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm picking one or the other, Signetti or Freeman, I'm taking Signetti. He's at least proven he can fucking win.
Yeah.
So,
what would be worst case scenario? Let's see if you and me have the same one.
John Harbaugh.
My worst case scenario is Arthur Smith promoted.
I'm not even considering that. Oh man, that would be like. Fucking A, no Mike Tomlin. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to read you the list on ESPN has their rankings of coaches available. Mike Tomlin is number 1. They have him as number 1. Great. We've long said he could get a job. It's funny. I read a tweet tonight that my buddy had sent me, and it was Donnie Football. He works for 93.7 The Fan. I think you know who he is, Jerry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He tweeted, "It's been 2 hours. Mike Tomlin still hasn't been hired. I was told he'd get a job within 5 minutes." I love that. Obviously, he's fucking still under contract, just retired. Blah, blah. That's fucking funny, though. That shit is funny.
It's a good tweet.
Mike Tomlin is 1. John Harbaugh is 2. Kevin Stefanski is 3. Robert Saleh is 4. Mike McCarthy is 5. Mike McCarthy could be a guy that gets a little shine. He could get a little shine in this because he's also from Pittsburgh.
I know. I wouldn't want it, though.
I wouldn't want it either. Cliff Kingsbury is 6. Joe Brady is 7. Steve Spagnuolo is 8. Jesse Minter, you mentioned, is 9. And Ted is Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. So there are some names out there. I think one thing people need to remember, no matter who the Pittsburgh Steelers bring in as their head coach, we didn't know who Mike Tomlin was prior to Mike Tomlin being the Steelers head coach.
Good point. He was a secondaries coach.
He great guy, wins Super Bowl. However, nobody knew who the fuck he was.
Yeah.
Bill Cowher. Nobody knew who the fuck Bill Cowher was, coming into Pittsburgh. Guy from Crafton. No one really knew who he was. However, that is what you get. I don't need it to be a big name, Jerry. I don't need it to be a big name. I just need somebody that has a new vision, a fresh idea for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I'm shooting for.
No, I love it. I totally agree. We're on the same page, man. On the same page. I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine. I'm okay if we got a bad year or 2 in there, 3, whatever. Listen, but the thing is, like I said earlier, we just don't know. You just don't know. They could turn it around very quick. You just don't know.
And that's the best part about the NFL, baby, is that if you find the right guy quickly, shit can go great yet again. And
I wonder if they'll draft a quarterback, Kev.
That's going to be the real question, Jerry. We're definitely going to be recording some episodes between now and the draft at this point.
I think Rodgers, I think Tomlin leaving, I think that solidifies Rodgers either retiring or going somewhere else to play football.
Top 3 guys you would move on from now, and then we'll wrap it up because we're going to pair this with the episode we recorded last night. So it's going to be one like hour and 10-minute episode. Top 3 guys you would now move on from now that Mike Tomlin is gone. Aaron Rodgers will exclude because I think Rodgers is not coming back. I don't think
I'd say Jonnu Smith 100% gone.
Number 1 for me, Jonnu Smith. Number 1.
Number 2. Ooh. Man, this is tough. Number 2, I keep DK. I mean, you kind of got no choice there. You remove him, you don't have anybody.
You have to pair him with an elite wide receiver.
Yeah, you got to get somebody.
I think we've proven DK Metcalf is not a solo one on his own. You know, you need to have another wide receiver with him.
Man, would you? I don't know about Jalen Ramsey. I don't know.
That contract,
I like him.
Agreed. I'm fine with him staying. However, I think we need another legitimate safety.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
What we saw late in the year is that the Pittsburgh Steelers do need another safety. Now you have Deshaun Elliott, who missed the second half, most of the season with his injury. I would love to see he and Jalen Ramsey paired together, especially if Brian Flores is your head coach. I think Brian Flores could get the most out of that talent. He got way more out of a significantly inferior talented team in the Minnesota Vikings defense.
That's why I think if a Flores type, like a defensive guy comes in, I don't think you'll see a lot of movement on the defense. I really don't.
I agree. I would move on from Alex Highsmith.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, no, I agree. I forgot about him. I would. You got Nick Herbig. I would move on from Alex Highsmith. I think that contract isn't great.
I agree.
It's time to cut ties there. 3. I don't even fucking know.
Samalo. Shit. Isaac Samalo.
Yeah, his time is done. He's getting old. He's getting old. Look what they did with McCormick.
Exactly.
I mean, they drafted McCormick in what? What round was that?
4th round. Yes.
I mean, he's been pretty solid, man. He's been pretty solid.
He's been pretty fucking great. I like Mason McCormick. I like the way that our offensive line is. Even with Dylan Cook at left tackle now, depending on what they do with Broderick at left tackle, who knows? I think you have something nice in Dylan Cook as well. I think he played pretty fucking great in the last 6 games he got to play. And so I like what you saw out of Dylan Cook. I would move on from Isaac Samalo. I would definitely move on from Alex Highsmith. I think he is your highest trade value player.
Yeah.
That's who I would trade and move on because we need to see Nick Herbig. You're going to pay Nick Herbig going into the season. You need to see Nick Herbig play. He has proven on multiple levels that he is a fucking dog.
Yeah,
we need to see Nick Herbig. And, you know, that's the hard one for me is Jonnu Smith because he just never got it going. He just never fucking got it going.
No.
And also he holds back from Pat Freiermuth, who I think is the better tight end. I think Pat Freiermuth, when he was given chances late in this year, he proved that he has good fucking hands. In open field, he's hard to bring down. And when they did give him the ball, he fucking dominated, but they just never gave him the ball. And they forced the ball to Jonnu so much, Jerry.
The crazy part of this year was I think it was a real eye-opener. The personnel packages, the different schemes on offense, the players that were on the field and not on the field. Nobody could ever get in a rhythm the way this guy called an offensive game. It was horrendous. It was really fucking bad, dude.
And they gave him a raise too. They gave him an extension and a raise. I don't see his fit because now you have Darnell Washington. Okay, so I need to see Pat and Darnell Washington, and then you draft a fucking tight end in the 4th or 5th round, and that's your 3rd guy. Okay, so I don't need fucking 80 tight ends. You didn't even use them anyway.
No, and I think you got that cornerback spot. I think that's lockdown corner Joey Porter. He's been great. He had a great year.
He was a dog, and honestly, both of us need to give him his flowers because we did talk a lot of shit about him through the middle of the year because he's hands, he takes penalties. but man, he is a shutdown cornerback.
Yeah,
I think you definitely have a dog in Joey Porter Jr. And so you need to add a corner. You need to add a wide receiver. You need to add a left guard, to fill Samala's role. To me, wide receiver is 1A, though. It's 1A. It is 1A without a doubt.
Kevin, I wouldn't even care about just keeping DK Metcalf and letting everybody else go.
I know you mentioned earlier you would move on from Calvin Austin. I don't know that I'd move on from Cal just because he's still on a rookie deal. I still would give him this year. I probably extend him because I still believe he is a very, very talented wide receiver if he's the 3. I don't want to see Calvin Austin as the 2. Yeah. That's my fucking problem. And so they continue to put guys in roles where I hate them in the role that they're in, but I like the player. And that's Calvin Austin to me. I think if they would go out and they would get a Carnell Tate out of Ohio State, that's a dog, Jerry. That's an absolute dog, and I would love to see Carnell Tate. There are some players I would love to see the Steelers add as far as wide receiver go. It's going to be a fun offseason because it's going to be
a busy offseason for us.
It's so new, Jerry. It's so new. It's a whole new dream. It's buying into a new dream now. It's buying into something that is just fucking different. It's just different, Jerry. I would move on from Arthur Smith and Terrell Austin. I hope new head coach comes in and cleans house. I'm fine with keeping Danny Smith at the special teams coordinator position. I'm fine with that. However, Arthur Smith, I think we both, even though he's nice to us, friend of the show, move on from him. Terrell Austin, his contract's over. Get him the fuck out of town. Yeah. Start over entirely at the coordinator position. New head coach, 2 new coordinators. And let's fucking see then, Jerry. And if it's a shitty year, yes. Are we going to be sad and bitch about it? Absolutely. But I will give a longer leash now than I gave to Mike Tomlin simply because Mike Tomlin proved it wasn't going to get any better. A new coach, I'll give a leash to. I will give plenty of slack because they earned that. They deserve that. I don't have unrealistic expectations where a new coach comes in. You better win a Super Bowl this year, you piece of shit. I'm not going to be that guy. Now, if we get into year 5 or 6 and it's shit, of course, I'm going to fucking rain terror down on him.
Yeah, of course.
But starting out, I'll give a guy some fucking leeway because it's not going to come in and win right away. As long as it looks like they're building towards something better, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to see Will Howard a little bit. I'd love to see it.
So do I, Jerry. I really hope that we do get to see Will Howard. Wow, this was fun. This was a great day. You guys
long episode. This is going to be a long episode for the fans.
Real long episode. Jerry and I, right before we record, we're like, we'll give him 15, 20 minutes about this, but it's easy to talk when Mike Tomlin is gone, baby. And I love it, guys. I have dreamt of this day. We are going to celebrate. Jerry, I have a little something in the works. I think I'm going to rent out a bar, open bar. Food, appetizers, open bar for 2-3 hours. At some point, I'm in contact with a few bars in the city. I'm going to get those details out. We're going to celebrate. It's a new fucking day, baby. It is a new day for Steelers fans, Jerry, and I'm fucking excited about it.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. We'll see where this takes us. Hopefully, I'm guessing we're going to record in the next couple days or a week. Yeah.
When we get another coach, we're going to record again. We're going to record again. Then when he hires his staff, we're going to record again. We're going to be putting some shows out here through the offseason, no doubt about it. So appreciate you guys fucking with us. We're going to say the same shit you're going to hear in this episode. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share the show where you find it. We fucking love the support. I love you guys. Jerry loves you guys. It's a new day for Steelers fans, baby.
Yeah, we'll see you in about a week.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe sooner.
Later, Jerry.
Later.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.